Let's go Heat. Let's go Heat. Let's go Heat. Tonight is going to be absolutely crazy. Canes baseball is at home starting at 6. Marlins are at home with the Nationals starting at 6:30. The Florida Panthers are at home opening up the Eastern Conference semifinals against Tampa Bay at 7. And the Miami Heat are at home opening up the Eastern Conference finals against the Boston Celtics at 8:30. Why does it all have to happen the same night? But at least we can stagger it out a little bit with the start times. But on this episode, my friends, we're going to talk with some of the best. Our guy, Royal A. Shepherd, will join us at 2:45. Yeah, 2:45. 2:30, Dave Friedman, a.k.a. Taco About Sports. Here's what the Miami Heat are going to need to get it done in Game 1 tonight. Oh, it is. It is Tuesday episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I know it's a weird start time. It's been a weird week. Yesterday, road tripping back from Orlando, started very late yesterday. It was like around 5:30 we came on. Today, I was hosting the Zaslow show on 560 from 10 to 2. So I finished at 2. I ate a very late lunch, and then I hop on right here to talk some Heat Celtics, some Panthers Tampa Bay with you guys. So welcome in. Thanks so much to our guy, David, who says he already did lots of mushing today. Yeah, I did 4 hours worth of mushing when I was on for Zaslow earlier on today. Florida Panthers are going to win Game 1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. No problem, my friends. Miami Heat are going to win Game 1 against the Boston Celtics tonight. Be cool. Be like David. At least I hope David has done this. Make sure you guys, when you're in here, you smash the like button. Smash that like button and subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. No matter what South Florida team you root for. If you don't root for a South Florida team, I don't know what you're doing here. But no matter which South Florida team you're rooting for, we've got content for you. We have Heat content coming out of your ears, bros. I mean, we have gotten Heat Celtics previews from like 7, 8 different collections of people this week, and it's awesome. We're going to get a couple more of those on my show here today. Game 1 tonight, 8:30 p.m. But whether you're into the Heat, you're into the Dolphins, we got plenty of Dolphins content on 5 Reasons Sports YouTube. Miami Hurricanes, Florida Panthers, Miami Marlins, the man on second crew with Joe Frizzaro is second to none. They are unbelievable. Inter Miami, Austin Robillard carries that flag, and he does a fantastic job. I'm sure Austin's timeline must be lit today with fresh rumors about Lionel Messi, supposedly when he's done at PSG next year, 2023, supposedly according to a reporter from DirecTV. They break a lot of soccer news, DirecTV reporters. I didn't even know they had reporters, but according to Alex Candal of DirecTV, Leo is going to buy 35% of Inter Miami and play for the team. Apparently, Tom Brady's going to do the same thing with the Dolphins, I heard. So we're going to bring – can you imagine, though, next year? Oh, South Florida would be lit in 2023 if we got Tommy Brady owning part of the Dolphins and playing quarterback at like 47 years old here. And we got like Lionel Messi at like 47 years old owning 35% of Inter Miami and playing down here. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive, my friends. So yeah, make sure you smash the like button and you subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube, and smash the like button. It helps this show and it helps this channel. I'm with you, David. DirecTV reporters. That's news to me, man. Yeah, apparently they got guys supposedly breaking stories. We're going to be joined here just a moment by our guy, Taco About Sports. But I want to hear from you guys in the live chat. Key matchups here tonight. Is it Jimmy Butler versus Jaylen Brown, Jimmy Butler versus Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo versus Al Horford. Is it dirty ass Marcus Smart, the flopper, versus anybody defensively? Your key matchups for this series. Now, you know where we stand, Heat fans. We are backed into a corner, and we are going to respond with vengeance and with viciousness because we are like a wounded animal right now when it comes to the media. I talked about this on the show a little bit yesterday. Yesterday, I had the list of the experts, the NBA experts from CBSSports.com, 8 of them, all 8 of them picked the Boston Celtics to come out of this series. I also today, I looked up the list of ESPN's experts. There were 29 of them who weighed in. All but 4 of ESPN's experts picked the Boston Celtics to advance. And 2 of the people that picked Miami were George Sedano and Israel Gutierrez. I don't even know if they count because they're the Miami guys, right? So, 25 out of 29 of the ESPN experts picked Boston. All 8 of the CBS sports experts picked Boston. 33 out of 37 total are picking the Boston Celtics. This is exactly where I want to be. I feel like America still doesn't know the Miami Heat, right? I feel like America hasn't been paying close enough attention, and I think they just underestimate, the Heat's path to the Eastern Conference Finals because they don't respect who the Heat have beaten so far. Like, oh well, Jimmy's the only guy playing well. Who else is going to step up? I think this is going to be a good series for Tyler Hero. I think this is going to be a great series for Bam Adebayo. Kyle Lowry ruled out for tonight. I hope he's able to come back and make an impact. I think PJ Tucker is the type of player who can be an X factor in this series. Let's bring in a man who is always an X factor here on this show. And oh, look at that photo. I love. That's a virtual background? Are you green screening it today?
Paul Pierce is in my room. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, look, it's a Celtics-Heat, right? So we got to go Paul Pierce pooping himself. That's kind of what I talk about. PP poop. What's going on,
love
man?
It. Not too much, man. Which of your Heat jerseys are you wearing today? Can you turn around?
We talked about the champions, old school Zoe. The green screen's messing it up, but yeah, I went old school champion. It's been washed like 7,400 times,
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You try not to wash them too much, but eventually they're going to smell bad, and you probably should wash them. So I love it. Taco About Sports, he's ready to go here. First and foremost, my friend, do you align yourself with the experts? And I wonder, I would imagine Paul Pierce is probably going to be picking the Celtics in this series. Do you think the Heat get it done? In how many games do they get it done?
I'm guessing he picked them. I'm guessing Perk picked them. Yeah. Sedano doesn't really count because of the Sixers thing. I think he's stuck picking the Heat at this point, right? I'm taking the Heat. I mean, look, I think it is a 7-game series. It's one of those type of series as long as everyone's healthy, right? But I do ultimately think like the Heat are built to beat that team, and I'm not really. Look, I had said it last week. It's like I didn't want Giannis because it's Giannis.
Yeah.
But, I would have you always take the other team. So I'm happy it was the Celtics. As much as I wanted to go Bucks 3 years in a row, like it's just feeling old school, right? So I think Jimmy's got a lot to prove here.
Yeah, and I was listening to Five on the Floor from a couple days ago. I thought Greg Sylvander made a good point that this whole dynamic, like this triumvirate that we have between the Heat, the Celtics, and the Bucks, this is going to be so good for the NBA in the coming years because the Heat already have a thing with Milwaukee, having faced them the previous 2 years. They just faced Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago, so that's going to be a renewed rivalry. And so then next year, Milwaukee's going to be out for blood with Boston, and there's the whole Miami out for blood for Milwaukee. So I think this is just setting the table for just a really good dynamic in the Eastern Conference in the NBA. And another thing, Dave, that I love about this series is, you talk about, the NBA being, a superstar-driven league. That's what everybody likes to talk about. And, of course, you got great players in this series, but everybody talks about the superstars being, the KDs and the LeBrons, and neither of those guys got past the first round of the playoffs. One of them didn't get into the playoffs whatsoever. James Harden, I guess, used to be a superstar. Joel Embiid is a superstar. It's like the Heat and the Celtics are both two of the deepest teams in the league, certainly two of the deepest teams in the Eastern Conference, and they've got great players, but they're not superstar driven the same way that some of these other teams are. So I think it's good for the league that sometimes depth still kind of reigns true over just top heavy teams.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Tatum is a superstar. I think like without his game 6, and I thought he was getting to that level for a long time now, but it happened a lot quicker than everyone realized, I think. But he's a superstar, right? So like you said, Embiid, you got Giannis. I mean, those guys still matter. I think honestly, the Heat are like an outlier right there. It's even Golden State. They play a lot of like team basketball, but they got Steph and Clay, and so it's you go back even to like the Pistons back when it was Shaq and Dwayne. That was an outlier. Like they won that way, but that's not how it's done typically. I think this Heat team is similar to that, where they don't have that true top scorer. Like Jimmy's just been playing out of his mind. It's crazy.
He's been ridiculous. Do you think that because we definitely want more consistency from Tyler Hero, and I think the Heat bench obviously dynamite. Boston's got a really good bench as well, but I look at the type of edge the Heat can have off the bench with Tyler Hero if he's on, and obviously it's going to be tough for anybody to score in this series because these are both great defensive teams. But Hero and then Oladipo, who has put in some really good performances off the bench, like how much of a difference do you think guys like that can make in the series?
No, I think the bench scoring will play a big part of it. I mean, Marcus Smart injury might play a big part of it, depending on how hurt he is defensively, even. Look, it's going to be, everyone's been talking about the Celtics defense and how insane they are. Like everyone's downplaying the Heat's defense. It's again, without Lowry, it's not the dogs that we all saw them as, but like it's been that way, right? This whole playoffs has been shutting down that guy. So if they can contain Tatum, like they'll be okay, man. Like I said, it's just I think you're looking at like 110 point games. I don't think you're looking in the 120s, that type of thing.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if at least in one of the games in this series, like they're under 100, like both teams. It's like school. A 95 to 89 type of final score somewhere.
Look, you got Spo. I mean, these coaches, they don't seem to mind those types of games. I think, again, it'll be a Tatum type of thing where if he goes off for 40 or 50, like that might be the difference in a higher scoring game. But
I think this is a fair point brought up by Valerez. He says, I'm rooting for the Heat, but I don't think it's a lack of knowledge or disrespect to pick Boston the series. But I think the thing about it for me is, though, it's like, how do you have like literally 95% of the experts picking one team? So like that tells me they don't think it's going to be, there would be more dissension, right? If it was really a close series. He says, because even you say it, I think the series is close to a toss-up. I wouldn't place any bets either way. And I feel the same way. I think it's going to be a 7-game series. So I think it's interesting that like 95% of the people who actually get their work published who are picking the series are picking one team over the other. That tells me they don't think it's close.
I mean, look, I don't want to oversimplify it, but like they have Jason Tatum and we don't. And again, I do think that's a big part of it. Like if you're going up against a Giannis or one of those types of guys, like they're going to get the edge in a game 7, right?
So it sounds to me like you're picking Boston.
Yeah, I mean, look, people were on the Boston train before that. They beat Milwaukee, so yeah. It's not surprising. But like at the end of it, like as a Heat fan, as people who know the team, like I am happy that they're the underdog. I'm happy that the media is all over Boston and they're talking about Boston. I mean, it's just like exactly how you would want this team to be motivated, right? So I'm for it, man. Like the media is, what does it matter anyways, right? It's for us to talk about, basically.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love the fact that you can get plus money on the Heat for the series. And so for anybody out there, and I think it's gonna be a really close series, I tend to agree. I'm gonna bet some of the individual games. I haven't put in a series future, but I'll probably throw in a few bucks on the Heat because again, you're getting plus money. The Heat, I'm looking at plus 145 now for the series. Boston minus 180 favorites, Heat plus 145 underdogs. If you believe in the Heat and you think it's gonna be a really close series, and listen, home court advantage. That could be decisive here, right? I mean, listen, we saw home court advantage was decisive for Boston against Milwaukee. Miami, I thought the Sixers series was going to go 7. They were able to shut the door on the road, which was fantastic. But the Heat have been so good at FTX Arena, and you get that extra home game. That's going to be fantastically tremendous if you do get to 7, which I think they will. I'm picking Heat in 7, so I think the 7th game is going to be huge. So, yeah, if you think the Heat are going to edge it out, plus 145, it's not so bad. Have you taken a look, Taco, at the Prize Picks field for tonight? Because we do have, of course, our daily fantasy sports provider here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network is Prize Picks. Look at that product placement. That is beautiful. What are you looking at tonight at the old prizepicks.com?
Yeah, I actually looked at it like a half an hour ago. I was prepping.
So it's fresh in your mind.
I actually like some of the lower numbers. I think part of the problem too is what you're saying about picking the whole series. Like right now, you don't know what to expect, and you know how things they play themselves out a little differently early on. So I tend to take the unders. Like I'm not touching the high Jimmy, fantasy score, things like that. But I like Jimmy. He's at like two blocks and steals. There are a couple guys. Just Oladipo, I think he's at like 3 rebounds. I like the over on that.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Grant Williams for the Celtics. Again, I think he's at like 3.5 rebounds. He's going back to the bench. Robert Williams, I think, is going to start. So he's back into that role where he was putting up 5-6 rebounds a game. Just little things like that. But I like to do a lot of second half stuff too, especially in game 1. So watch out for that stuff.
I love the second half stuff is great. So yeah, what you want to do is, because Prize Picks, it makes it so easy. And if you're not using Prize Picks during the playoffs, something ain't right in your mind. All right. It's so easy to sign up. prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app. When you make your first deposit, make sure you use our code there, 5, F-I-V-E. Spell it out. Use our code 5, and they're going to match your first deposit 100% up to $100. You can double your money when you use our code 5. And you make selections, 2, 3, 4 players, over, unders. It combines my love for parlays and daily fantasy, and you win real money. So, Dave, anything else you want the people to look out for tonight? Because I have noticed, even though the odds makers favor the Celtics, the so-called experts are almost all favoring the Celtics. The Heat are favored in game 1 because I think people are expecting tired legs for Boston. They're the less rested team. The Heat are going to have energy tonight at home. So the Heat are 1.5-point favorites tonight. Do you think they get it done and cover that?
Like I don't look at anything as a must win other than like the obvious games. But I think tonight, based on all of that at home, the rest, like Marcus Smart not at 100%.
Yeah.
You gotta pull it out tonight. I think they'll win game 1. I think game 2 might be a little closer, but I think all these games will be close. I don't see any blowouts like last round. So Heat in 5, come on, man. Heat in 5. Regardless of what it is, you go 7, it's 5 plus 2. Come on.
Okay, all right. Simple math. Dave, I appreciate you, sir. Everyone, make sure you follow him at Taco About Sports on Twitter, and good luck on the old Prize Picks. And yeah, let's hear that.
That was easy.
I love this dude. Enjoy your night, sir. It's gonna be a multi-screen experience for me. Panthers hockey, Heat basketball, and I miss this dude. And he's only spitting facts there with the name. Boston is racist. Royal A. Shepard. Royal, I miss you so much, my dude. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Mr. Alexander Donno, sir. How are you today, man?
I'm doing better now that I get to see your face, and I'm so pumped. The only thing that I'm upset about is they got to start making me stay up a little bit later. This 8:30 start time, I do not love it. I'm an old guy, family guy. You're a family man as well. I like to get my sleep. They're going to make me stay up past 11 tonight. We will deal with it. But first of all, Royal, and we've been talking about this with the commenters as well. I called it disrespect, how little love the Heat are getting and how like nobody's picking them to win the series. And listen, somebody pointed out like, hey, it's not disrespectful to pick Boston. They're a really good team on a really good run. But I think when I look up damn near 40 expert picks and only 4 of them pick the Heat to win, that something's a little off there. So why is Miami flying under the radar?
Because those experts are experts in nationally televised games, Donno. They're not experts in the actual teams that are playing in this fight. I'm sorry to your sponsors. I don't give a shit who is picking Miami or not, Donno. Like,
we curse all the time, bro. Don't even worry about it.
I already know. I don't give a shit who's picking Miami, Donno. Like, I don't care about these people. They are bots. They are trolls. And I think Ethan's made the point several times on the pod. They have not watched this team. They are going with the biggest name in the series in terms of Jason Tatum, in terms of offensive potency or supposed offensive potency, not to mention that Jimmy Butler is the only player left in the playoffs who's scoring over 25 points and shooting over 50% in the field. It was Giannis before they eliminated him. But they're only talking about the team that they know, which is Boston. And so they're leaning on that. And that's fine, Donno. That's fine. I heard you say it a little bit earlier. We like that down here.
Mm-hmm.
We like when motherfuckers sleep on us, Donno. We love it. We love it. Bring your shit, Boston.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, wouldn't I rather be a Heat fan right now than a Brooklyn Nets fan, right? Because all they did all season long, the Nets were championship favorites. And then, when they limped into the playoffs, they had to go through the play-in game. Nobody wants to face the Nets in the playoffs, and they get swept. They completely shit the bed. Like, I would much rather be an underhyped team in the Eastern Conference Finals than an overhyped team that's doing absolutely nothing right now.
Yeah, so I think the problem, like I said before, like they look at the names on the roster and they determine their picks based off of that. Miami is not a sexy roster. Half of the people going into the series tonight have no idea who in the fuck Max Strus is. So they have no clue what he's capable of. They haven't seen his progression on the defensive end in the postseason. They haven't seen the way he's been able to add little things to his game throughout the course of this playoffs to help him be more effective on the floor. They don't know that, Donno. And I like it that way too. I don't know. Please don't. But I mean, look, I don't want to get on here and act like there's absolutely no chance that Boston has of winning this series. That is a damn good team that we're about to face over there. And I want people to be perfectly conscious. Oh my God. Welch is in the comments. I hate him. He follows me. But yeah, Boston is a damn good team that we're about to face over there. So they will pose problems for Miami. And I mean, it's not absurd to say that Boston could win this series.
Right.
However, a lot of those national talking heads, they are basing that solely off of one side of the coin. They are not looking at what Miami has done. They don't know what Miami has done. And so they can't pick Miami in these situations. So it's up to us to be loud about it, Donno. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be loud about this ass kicking that we're about to deliver to the racist city of Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I did know. I've been there before. Did notice not a whole lot of diversity up there. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. Now
we have one advantage, Donno. Sorry, I'm talking about Dolo because I'm thinking about donations. But Donno, we have one advantage. Our white shooters have played particularly well in cities of Boston. So when Spo throw out that Tyler Hero, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson lineup, Boston, eat your heart out. We're going to shoot 1,000 threes.
I call that the lobster lineup when they throw that up there. It's like, put all the white shooters on the floor in Boston.
That's right.
They can't miss. They can't miss up there. Oh, it is too good. So Kyle Lowry ruled out for tonight. It's been a weird thing. And he tried to come back in the Sixers series, game 3 and 4, re-aggravated in game 4. He never really looked right, even coming back. So I hope he's getting the rest he needs to really come back 100%. But they've done a damn good job without him, Royal. Could they get by for a handful more games in this series without Lowry, or do they need him back as soon as humanly possible?
We want to get him back as soon as he's healthy enough to play, because there are certain things that Kyle Lowry does on the court that are invaluable to this team in terms of just him being veterans, just knowing the game of basketball. But to your point, Miami has played remarkably well. And I think that next man up mentality, having to deal with players in and out of the lineup all season long, it has kind of built the fortitude in some of these unheralded players like a Gabe Vincent to be able to come in these moments and be a steady hand. And so that's what Gabe Vincent has been this entire time. He doesn't have to be great. He just has to be steady. And Gabe Vincent has shown us nothing to say that we shouldn't trust him to be that during the course of this series. So in terms of Kyle Lowry, yes, we want Kyle Lowry back because we're going to need him if we hope to ultimately win a championship. But in terms of him missing games and us being confident in Gabe Vincent being able to man the fort, we should feel extremely confident because he has played well throughout these playoffs. And so we want to make sure that we give him his proper respect going into the series too.
I think this is a really good point brought up by Michael Jordan himself, who's in the chat. He says, I understand analysts picking Boston, but to say it's because they have more depth is a joke. Now, both teams are deep, but it's like one team's got the sixth man of the year, and they also have a secret weapon in Victor Oladipo that they can bring off the bench. Like it's weird. Like if you're going to sleep on anything, why would anyone sleep on the Heat's depth?
It's also weird, Donno, because Boston doesn't really go like they go like 7-8 deep. Like they don't really go that deep into their bench. Miami will play 11 motherfuckers in the first quarter.
Yeah, we almost get to Haslam. Like we get very close to Udonis Haslam.
We told the line every game of playing the entire roster in the 48 minutes of a basketball game. So I mean, I think it's just a foolish argument to compare depths of these teams. One team may have a lot of solid players, but they're not going to use them all. Miami is going to use a lot of them. What did he say about 5 reasons watch parties?
Yeah, I guess we don't have any watch parties planned. We should do that. We should do that. Now, I don't know if anyone wants to. I've been so sick the last couple of days. I don't know if anybody wants to like have me breathing on them at a watch party. I don't have COVID, by the way, for anybody wondering. I tested and I have had COVID before. I don't have it now, but I don't know if anyone wants to see me at a watch party anytime soon. For the finals, I'm going to have a watch party.
The last time I went to only one watch party, and we had a close game with Detroit when I went there. I stay as far away as humanly possible. I want no parts of that. But if Ethan decides to curse this team with his presence, then I mean, if they can win with Ethan J. Skolnick present, then we can overcome anything. So watch party should be small potatoes. But yeah, back to the conversation that we're having about Kyle Lowry. I do believe that that he's going to be pivotal. I think we're going to need him back at some point during this series, though, Donno. It's just these games are going to be so close. They're going to be nip and tuck throughout the course of the series, and I do not want to disrespect Boston by saying that we can go out here and we can win the series without all hands on deck.
Right. Now, Shake Money, and you didn't miss it, Shake, but he's asking about Duncan Robinson. What do you think Duncan's role in this series is going to be?
The same thing that he was in the last one, the biggest cheerleader that we got off the fucking bench. He will not see the court. It's not a thing, bro. I think last series against Philadelphia was kind of his best opportunity with the way that they play defense, having Joel Embiid kind of do that deep drop. Some of that dribble handoff stuff could have worked. He got in for a stint, didn't do well. We didn't see his ass again. Boston switches everything. It is not an ideal matchup for Duncan Robinson, so I don't expect to see much of him at all.
What are the matchups that you look forward to most? And I'm sure Jimmy and Tatum are going to be involved in a lot of these, but what are the matchups you think could decide the series?
So to me, it's not so much about that individual matchup thing as much as it is as the way Miami's players adjust to the way that they're being defended by Boston. Tyler Hero in particular is the guy who I'm looking squarely at. He has not played well these playoffs.
No, inconsistent.
It's been inconsistent, and it hasn't been up to the standard that he set for himself during the regular season. So during this series against Boston, he's going to see a team that is not ideal for him either way. So it's not like it's like Milwaukee was a better matchup for Tyler Hero's skill set than Boston is, because Boston is going to switch good defender after good defender after good defender onto him, and so it's going to be incumbent on him to be able to be productive with that type of defense on him. And the same is going to go across the board for several players. Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker. The way Boston defends them, they're going to have to hit shots, Donald. Like in that three-point shooting versus Boston defense is probably the biggest matchup for me. Like they're going to have to hit shots, and we're going to need people like Tyler Hero to make some things happen on offense. It doesn't mean that he has to score, but he has to be effective. He has to be, impact the game with playmaking or something. But he can't be a non-factor. Otherwise, it's going to be a sad song that we're singing on this network about what the Miami Heat could have done this season.
I don't want that. And I know that that's certainly not the way that our viewers are thinking about it. Like, I like this. Jose asks us, when we smack Boston, the excuse will be Boston was tired and didn't play to their potential. And I have noticed that so far in the playoffs, Royal, that every time the Heat knocks somebody out, it's not what the Heat did, it's what the other team didn't do. Like, oh, how come Trae Young wasn't good enough to carry Atlanta? How come James Harden wasn't good enough to be the guy that he was a couple of years ago, where he was always a playoff choker, by the way. But it's always about the other team. It's never about the Heat. So if the Heat do knock out Boston, I'm sure those excuses will come out again.
Yeah, and I won't care then either, Alexander Donno. I do not care about what other people say about the Miami Heat. I only care about when they go out there and kick that team's ass all up and down that basketball court. That's all I care about. In terms of this whole matchup or whatever, however the stars align for Miami, I said it before the playoffs started. The way that it's lining up, this would be Miami's best route to a potential championship. Facing a softie in round one, a team that presents a bit of a challenge matchup-wise in round two, and then ultimately facing a team that will be their biggest challenge coming out the East in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think that they've executed beautifully up until now. And so whatever excuse they have for those teams made it there. You only play who's in front of you. And so in terms of Boston, whatever Boston's excuse is going to be, I don't care. Get your excuse ready for the NBA championship too when we beat whoever comes out. That's all I care about.
That's beautiful. All right, so I've gone on record a couple times for my official pick for the series. I think it's going to be close. I think home court advantage will be decisive. I'm going to go Heat in 7, which means I'm expecting a great series. Royal A. Shepherd, are you ready to go on record? Maybe you have already. Do you have an official pick for the series?
Absolutely. And you are a man after my own heart, Alexander Donno. I am picking Heat in 7 as well. I do believe that home court advantage thing, I was poo-pooing on the number 1 seed thing throughout the course of the season. I will admit that. I do not care. I did not care about the 1 seed. I only cared about the way Miami was playing. But the fact that they were able to get that 1 seed on top of being able to build a sustainable playoff model throughout the course of this regular season, it has left with the best possible result. And home court advantage, like you said, is going to be decisive in this series. I don't believe that you get Miami to a Game 7 in Miami with Eric Spoelstra and the way that Jimmy Butler has been playing throughout the course of this playoffs, and you beat them. And Boston is going to be the first Game 7 victim of that. So I do have Heat in 7, just like you. And I'm very confident in that prediction.
That is beautiful. Let the people know, because I know you're a busy guy. You did an appearance on the Bahama Rican Boys, which I love that show. You were on with them yesterday. You're on with me today. Are you doing other stuff on the network this week?
Absolutely. Every post-game show that will be hosted.
I'm never up late enough, especially tonight. Oh, I'm going to watch the replay tomorrow. I will watch the replay tomorrow. My head will hit the pillow the second the game ends tonight.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. See, like you said earlier in the show, we're family men. You know, we understand the importance of sleep. I understand the importance of naps, Donno. As soon as I get finished with you here, I'm going upstairs to my bedroom, and I'm going to have the best nap before this game so that I can be prepared for the post-game show. But yeah, I'll be on the post-game show we're going to do we're going to do a pregame spaces from the Clutch Corner account. So some of the guys, me, Threat, Kendall, maybe Gab might pop in, but a few members of the basement might jump in there. But yeah, I'll be on every post-game show after every playoff game for the long haul. Until we win the finals.
One of my favorite people on the network. Thank you so much. Thank you for the smiles. Thank you for the positivity. Thank you for the Heat flag in the background there, which makes me feel good about our chances tonight. Royal A. Shepherd, a.k.a. Boston is racist. Enjoy the game tonight.
You do the same, Donno, man.
I love it. That is awesome. That is fantastic. Tony says, all the national media sleeping on the Heat. We're going to surprise a lot of people, trust me. And that's the fun. That's why I love Royal's attitude, right? Where he talks about not caring what other people have to say about the Miami Heat. And I think it's a good feeling, because when you get to exceed everybody's expectations and catch everybody off guard, I think that's even sweeter. This is a good question. Who has the tiebreaker between the Heat and the Warriors? So when they meet, somebody in the chat may be able to answer it before me, because obviously it would have been the Suns who are out. Who has that edge in the record? Warriors have the tiebreaker, he says. Okay. So, yeah, because they both had the identical regular season record, 53-29, but Warriors have the tiebreaker. So if we meet the Warriors in the finals, thank you guys. I knew people would come up with it before I could pull it up in time. So if we do meet the Warriors in the finals, we would not have home court advantage. So I guess that means we got to root for Dallas, who won a game fewer than we did during the regular season. So that's where we have to go. Although Heat Warriors would be a lot of fun in the finals. That would be a really, really fun series. If you want a good laugh on YouTube, says Shake Money, Jimmy Butler signs with the Heat. Everybody were saying that it was a mistake, him leaving Philadelphia. He will never compete for a championship in Miami. Oh, I remember. So basically you're saying, so YouTube that there's a lot of hot takes and videos that will come up. I remember a lot of those when they were happening. When they were happening, I remember a lot of those. Yeah, let's go Dallas. Everyone agrees. I totally agree. Oh, and it's because, oh, you know what? I forgot we lost that game. You're right, because all I remember from that Orlando game was Oladipo putting up 40. Like I told, because we were the number 1 seed in the East no matter what. So I totally forgot that we lost that game. And if we had won that game, we would have had home court in the finals if we get there, no matter who it was against. So that's a really good point. Oh, man. I want to remind you guys, we talked about Prize Picks. Make sure you sign up for Prize Picks. So easy to sign up, guys. Use our code 5, F-I-V-E. They match your first deposit up to 100%. Daily fantasy. It's so easy. You make your selections in under a minute. I can do it in under 30 seconds sometimes. And I'm talking about Prize Picks, not anything else when I say that. Prize Picks. I make my selections in under 30 seconds sometimes, and you're winning real money for getting your overs and unders correct and hitting your parlays. I also want to remind you, friends, that we do have an official sports book here on Donno Daily, and that is BetUS.com. The great folks at BetUS.com have been paying out their loyal customers for almost 30 years. The 3-decade leader, BetUS.com, America's favorite sports book. It's a full online sports book, fully operational in the state of Florida, by the way. If you're wondering, can I use it in Florida? Yes, you can use BetUS.com in Florida. You just sign up today, create your account, and then when you make your first deposit, use our code 5RSN125. Use our code 5RSN125, and they're going to give you a 125% sign-up bonus. Best bonus in the industry. You deposit $100, they give you $125 of free play money on top of your deposit. How good is that? Money lines, spreads, parlays, player props, full casino. You can play blackjack for real money right there on the website. It's like having Las Vegas in your pocket on your smartphone or on your computer. Sign up today and find out why BetUS.com is America's favorite sportsbook. Use our code 5RSN125 and bet sports, bet the horses, play in their online casino. You even have pop culture props. Anything you can imagine is at BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. Thank you, David. So if you want me to avoid mushing, what kind of a show do you want me to do? Do you want me to come on every day and say, oh, the Heat are finished, they're going to lose tonight? Panthers, no chance, no shot. Marlins, no shot. They've actually been winning some games lately, the Marlins. Is that what I need to do to beat the sports gods? Oh, I just want to beat the illness gods today. I'm hopped up on Dayquil and coffee. It's fantastic. But yeah, listen, man, I'm a positive guy, and sometimes positivity leads to mushing. So maybe I should change my pick to the Celtics. That'll mush the Celtics. Oh man, thank you so much, Tony. And by the way, you see I'm fully decked out in my my Hurricanes gear today. If you guys can also support my other venture, I would appreciate it. I also host Locked On Canes on the Locked On Podcast Network. Put out an episode every single weekday talking Miami Hurricanes football. Our newest episode is available on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, or the audio podcast available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey app, wherever you get your pods. You can find Locked On Canes. If you're bullish on the Mario Cristobal era, Tyler Van Dyke like I am, you will also enjoy my daily Miami Hurricanes content. I know that we got some crossover. Some of you who watch this also watch that. I try to introduce people on that platform to this platform, try to introduce people on this platform to that platform. We want to take all of our content to the moon. Thank you so much, Kenneth. And I also I filled in on the Zaslow show today. So I'm everywhere. I was on 560. I was on Locked On Canes early this morning. I was on 560 in the midday. I'm here today. I'm doing a radio spot with a host in, God, where is he? I think Louisville, Kentucky, I want to say. Hold on. Let me see this. I got invited on a show today. I want to see where this show is at because I'm doing a guest spot. I'm also doing a guest spot in Alabama later today on the Locked On Auburn show. But hold on. Oh, so I'm gonna be double Alabama today. I'm gonna be on later today with David Schultz in Mobile, Alabama. I'm gonna be on with Zach Blackerby tonight in Auburn, Alabama. I'm like Nick Saban. I'm taking over the state. We're taking over Alabama, lock, stock. I'm gonna have to start talking with a little bit of a Southern twang. You know what I'm talking about, my friends? I'm from Mobile, Alabama. We're at a good time today. So let me throw out a few more shout outs before we wrap up this episode. Indeed, thank you so much. Panthers and Heat, bring it home, fellas. By the way, Bobby G, shout out to you, was asking who wins game one. I think the Heat definitely win game one tonight. The extra rest, Boston's going to be more tired. That home court game one energy, I think the Heat are going to start fast, finish fast tonight. I also think the Panthers win game one tonight against the Lightning. Indeed, I think I already shouted you out. David, RIP Alabama. I'm on every show in Alabama today. I'm gonna mush the entire state. Thank you so much, Caesar. I appreciate you. I don't feel that bad. I'm just, I'm congested. I'm losing my voice a little bit, so I'm gonna have to drink some. The problem was I did the first 3 minutes of yesterday's show as Alex Jones, and I think that took my voice completely away. Valerez, thank you so much. Luis, thank you so much for tuning in. Dennis, I saw him say earlier, his work schedule has changed. He isn't usually able to watch us live anymore, but he's watching live today. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everybody take advantage of the live chat, have a conversation with me, with each other. Let's have at it and smash the like button while you're in here. Rodney, thank you so much for tuning in. And that was a great point he made. Shake Money, who told us about, we got to YouTube those Jimmy Butler hot takes from when he came to the Heat. Let's see who else have I not shouted out yet? Ian from Brooklyn, and he's right. Smash the like button, Heat smash. Let's do it. Happy Jack, thank you so much. Jose A. Lucas, who talked about, hey, when we beat Boston, what's the excuse going to be from the media? There's going to be something. It's going to be something. Jordan L., thank you so much for tuning in. Brickstow, thank you so much. Or Brickstrow. Sorry if I butcher names every day here. When many people are saying the game is going to be close, like it would go to 7, that's when it goes in the opposite direction. Wish the Miami Heat to come out victorious. I guess since everyone's saying like Boston in 6, maybe it's going to be Heat in 4. Is that what you're saying? I'll take it as that. Gio, thank you so much. Media doesn't respect Bam. It's obvious. Oh, for sure. You should have way more all-star appearances. Daniel Brown, thank you so much. Depot will be a game breaker. I like that. I hope so. I think that might be it. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I try to shout out everybody we possibly can. Make sure you support our sponsors, betus.com, prizepicks.com, bet on the games tonight. Get your prize pick selections in for the games tonight. Let's win some money. Huge thanks to Dave Friedman, Taco, for joining us today. Also a huge thanks to Royal A. Shepherd for joining us. Awesome guests, awesome attitudes today. And we will talk to everybody again tomorrow on another episode of Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Let's go Heat. Let's go Panthers. See you tomorrow.